Okay. All right, welcome everyone. We'll have our call to order. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Just let me go back to, we are meeting for the purpose to review and approve the leadership profile that will be used for the superintendent search application process. It's Thursday, March 19th, 2026 at 3 p.m. Mr. Benway, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please, sir?
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Ms. Davis, if you'll lead us in a moment of silence.
Yes, if everyone would join me in a moment of silence, please. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. We're at item 2, our board action and discussion, and today we're working on kind of wordsmithing and approval of the superintendent search leadership profile. And we had this presented to us, goodness, was it March the 9th, in our last board regular meeting, and we've done some thoughtful looking at what was presented to us by BWP. We also made a version for ourselves to kind of, as a draft document for us to give some feedback and some thought to. So we've got a lot of things in front of us right now. And honestly, what I would like to do, unless anybody has a better idea, just, start with Mr. Benway, if you don't mind, Mr. Benway, and work all our way down to Dr. Dahl and just share whatever feedback or thoughts you have. Do we have a preference? I think if we just use those two documents, the one that says leadership profile, which was that draft working document, and then also use the BWP profile maybe at the same time. And we're thankful to have Ms. Parker and Ms. Sinum to help us take notes even, maybe we've got a whiteboard in front of us, and we also have a Google Doc in front. So it's our time to talk. And Mr. Benway, if you want to start by giving your thoughts, that would be great.
I also saw a piece of paper with this printed out. Maybe I'm wrong.
What, this one? That one right there?
Yeah,
Oh,
with the comments.
oh, it was big. It was a larger one. It was this one. You can take mine if you don't have it. It's got a paper clip. Yeah, okay, okay. Sure. You want to start? You can start.
I just would like everybody to know this before we start, because I can imagine everybody investing a lot of time before you get to me, and
Okay.
I am very unhappy with the new document. I think there's a great deal of value in the much more specific, particular, detailed statements in the first one.
Okay.
So you can just anticipate hearing from me, some details. I can go bullet point by bullet point, but I just wanted to foreshadow that, so that if we get to 4 people loving the new document, you're not all taken by surprise.
Okay, and that's fine, Dr. Dahl. We're not saying one or the other right now. We're just looking at the two versions maybe and picking out what we like of either version. So I appreciate that you made that comment, and like I said, we're going to take notes and then pull those notes into whichever format we decide is best, and we're open to all conversations. All right, Mr. Benway?
Okay. I'm looking at the key challenges. I'm going to go by the ones that I commented on. Anyway,
Okay.
I just noticed under key challenges and opportunities, I thought adding in another bullet, and that being solving the chronic failing school issue would be a major challenge.
Okay, so just to clarify, I want to say we're looking at the leadership profile draft that we updated,
Yes.
and you are saying specifically,
Add another bullet under
Okay.
key challenges and opportunities.
and will you say that again, please, sir?
Yes, solving the chronic failing school issue or problem.
Would you
Yeah,
elaborate?
I was gonna say, if you, specifically geared toward Moore County, what would you identify that problem as being?
We've got several schools, include Robinson Elementary, who are either in a failing status or teetering back and forth from that status. And that's a chronic issue over time. I think that that's a major challenge for us to solve. And I think it's worthy of note under key challenges.
So
and
the F
opportunities.
school rating schools, is that what you're saying, something like that?
Yeah, marginally successful schools.
Okay.
Does that work?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, I can't read this
Oh, yeah.
over here. I'm gonna pull up my, if you bear with me a second.
Okay.
Did David
Yes.
call in?
No,
No.
he's not gonna be able to join us.
Okay, just to address something Amy just talked about, I think there ought to be enough specificity to describe the issues we're discussing, but I don't think we need detail. I think these are general, areas we're gonna pursue, leaving it open to the candidate to describe how they would approach it. I'm not so sure we need to address specifics. That's just my perspective. Let me address one comment I made. The first one comes up is Steve Johnson. And Steve said, "I saw in multiple areas of reference to working closely with our local county commissioners in order to obtain funding for replacing, remodeling aging schools, as well as maintaining current schools better." And I just reinforced that by saying, yes, this sees MCS as a key and equal player in the whole of government approach to public education. And I think that's the position we ought to stand with. And I'm not sure where kid came in there.
They probably corrected spelling or
Could
something.
be.
Yeah.
Did I? Okay. That might have been a reflex. And moving down.
This is master draft, copy draft. Okay. Yeah.
When was our last meeting, March
March 9th, I think.
9th?
Yeah, okay, I'll check. Pretty sure it was.
That was the one where they presented?
Mm-hmm. It was the 9th. Yes. Trying to catch up with writing down what Ken said. Okay, All right, Ken, I think we're ready. Did you
Okay.
have anything else?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
And I'm trying to figure out which specific aspect these relate to as I go down the
Okay.
right side. Are they still on key challenges?
You went to.
No, I'm complete, I'm finished with that one.
He's on, well,
I think that's it. Steve said, I'd say based on the comments, that's his lead-in. Does that relate to visionary? Is that what this? It does, okay.
Mhm.
And then, where am I?
you're green on here.
Yeah, okay, continue moving down. My comment is collaborative manager. Change this to unifying leader. Management is a subset of leading. Collaborative is a weak term. Weak term, kind of I'm okay, you're okay. Unifying leadership brings to bear a consistent number of personal traits and characteristics while tapping into and leveraging the strengths of peers and subordinates. We pay him or her big bucks to be more than just a compromiser. So I'm recommending we change that title from collaborative manager to unifying leader as being more comprehensive.
And you're on you're on visionary instructional? Okay. And
Oh, did I skip one? Oh, I'm sorry about. Oh, two more replies, holy cow, yeah,
Okay, yeah, now,
okay.
okay. Yes.
All right, my comment is rather lengthy here. You gotta realize I wrote this at three. Yeah, if you expand that, it says two more comments. Okay, I think the term forward-thinking waters down the strength of the term visionary. We're all forward-thinking. Without vision, however, we simply wander with no ultimate purpose.
Yeah, well, yeah.
One who can envision and then put in place a set of changed and complementary conditions, e.g. an end state, will bring value added to Moore County on several key levels. We have to keep in mind the nature of our audience, e.g. the accomplished thinkers and doers applying for a position of some consequence. The term visionary is not meant to be easy. It is meant to elicit a thoughtful treatment of his or her worth to our great teaching and learning enterprise. Keep visionary. Other. While 158 citizens out of 108,000 in Moore County provided welcome inputs, not every one of these inputs is compulsory on the part of the board. It is our job to synthesize those inputs into a coherent tenor and intent. Then it is up to the applicants to articulate to us during interviews a coherent and convincing approach to achieving that community intent. As such, we should expect a programmatic approach to teaching and learning that builds to our vision. It is, after all, our Moore County vision that the applicant must grapple with.
Yeah, I agree, Mr. Pimley.
And one more, collaborative manager, we gotta get that.
I agree with that as well.
Visionary. Okay, so,
And we did the collaborative manager already. Okay, and where is this? One of the distinguishing features is that the right one? One of the distinguishing features nearly unique among school districts is the well-defined, dynamic, and culturally influential asset of Moore County's military population. This involves At the most fundamental level, nearly 1/3 of our student population, each with at least one parent serving in uniform. A worthy candidate will understand and leverage our military culture to the benefit of the whole. This is not to diminish the role of parents, but parenting partnering can be addressed as a standalone topic worthy of exclusive treatment in organic foundational role worthy of separate exclusive billing. So I'm saying rather than just use the generic parent, address that as a separate issue, as a standing iconic kind of an issue, rather than move it into mix it with the others. And keep the military perspective. The next one is personal qualities, I guess, huh?
Let's see. Yes.
I'm commenting on Robin's, should this be organization to support military families?
Oh, yeah, that was the other one.
Yeah, let's go. Okay, moving down.
I would add
I would
brave,
add-
fearless.
Yeah, what's
Okay.
the topic there?
That's personal qualities. It's on
Okay.
page 6 of the
Okay.
paper copy.
I would add brave/fearless disciple of teaching, learning, character development, and physical achievement, classically taught, multilingual, honorable military service is a plus. Also, he or she leads and develops subordinates as if to become his or her replacement. And that's all I have.
Okay. Take a note real quick. Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Benway. Anything else?
No, ma'am.
Would we want to just keep going, or do we want to make some comments about what Mr. Benway said so far? I'm making this up with
Well, yeah.
as we go.
Want to put to bed each topic as we move through? Or
That's what I was wondering, or save them all to the end.
I say, do them while you're fresh in mind.
Okay, okay. All right, so just kind of reviewing, I took some notes, but if I forgot something, Mr. Benway, make sure you correct me. But starting out, he gave a comment back to Dr. Dahl about not sure that we need specifics, but with the BWP profile, but to allow the candidate to interpret. So that was an overarching point he made. Under key challenges, he added the part about solving the marginally successful schools under key challenges. Under visionary, visionary instructional, he made some comments that he did not think it needed to, he wanted to keep it visionary. And then some great comments about our great teaching and learning enterprise, keep it visionary. He added some comments there. Under collaborative manager, he added comments.
Unifying leader.
And there was a little bit about the military families that I want to address when it's my turn. And then under personal, he added about the brave and fearless disciple of teaching, learning, and so on. So comments from our team here. Anyone?
I liked everything that Ken said about unifying leader. I thought that was really good.
I agree about unifying leader. And what was the other one? His long comment.
And he also said about solving the problems in chronic schools.
Now, that one I disagree with. I think the problem is with the metric used to judge the schools. It's been demonstrated again and again that school letter grades very closely track the affluence of the community. And I once, before I was on this board, I came and addressed you all, and I referenced a a white paper called A is for Affluence that collected all the data on that, and I presented you with charts and everything. But part of the reason that Robbins Elementary scores, the big part of the reason that Robbins Elementary scores so low is that something like 85% of the student body is considered economically disadvantaged. You know, so those are kids who don't get adequate nutrition perhaps when they're young, and that affects their brain development. We know that kids like that, kids who don't get adequate nutrition and adequate brain development, tend to be concrete thinkers much later into their academic life than kids who do get adequate nutrition. The parents are hard pressed to feed their kids. They're probably not going to be reading them stories and developing literacy and so forth. There are all kinds of reasons why schools with a high proportion of economically disadvantaged children score very low on the North Carolina state metrics. And you know, an awful lot of us believe that that is a problem with the system in North Carolina for rating schools and not a problem with the school themselves. There's a lot of wonderful stuff going on at Robbins Elementary.
Okay. All right.
I'm not gonna debate it.
Yeah. Anybody else? Ms. Bruno, you want to keep going?
Sure. Now,
other
excuse me,
co-
does that obviate the fact that they're not chronically in trouble? I mean, we have to
No.
admit that they're chronically in trouble, yes?
Well, I don't know that they're chronically in trouble. They are a restart school, which gives us some wonderful flexibility to do things that we otherwise wouldn't be able to do. I don't know that Dr. Calcutt, you're more familiar with the organizational side of that. Do they face harmful consequences as a result of that?
They can if they don't improve out of the restart. They can be taken over by the state.
How many consecutive years in restart does that,
Help me.
Does
I
that
know.
take-
We'll have to look that up. Yeah.
Sure. I'm including the folks on the brink, back and forth, you know.
I thought they were still chronically, they've exited low performing, but they're still chronically because 2 years out of 3.
One thing I wanted to, give feedback to Mr. Benway's comments about military families. That was under collaborative manager, and the bullet point was build productive partnerships with county leaders, community organizations, and military families. And my comment was that I think since it's kind of a flow of partnerships with outside organizations, that maybe rather than families, it might, which would definitely include the families, but reaching above to their supports of military organizations. Like, the groups from Fort Bragg, the one that Dr. Locklear was a member of, that's what I meant. And then I thought, well, we want to build it with all families, but as a manager, one thing I want our superintendent to do is reach out to those external support organizations, like, what is it called, Ms. Sinum, the military?
Yeah, the advisory,
Yeah,
no, I'm sorry.
the compact, compact. That's what I meant. I didn't mean not to focus on me. I meant to get the supports for us to support our military families. So that's kind of what I meant.
Okay, I'm sorry, I misread that.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's just what I meant there, because I thought that was a theme of partnerships with outside organizations. Okay, that's all. I thought, I really like the way you put brave and fearless for our, focus on teaching and learning. Those are really strong terms, and those are good words to use because, yes, you do have to be brave and fearless. But that's all I had to say. Ms. Davis or Dr. Dahl, anything? For Mr. Benway's
Can
suggestions?
we go back to where the phrase that included brave and fearless was?
That is on the speech.
a.m.
Oh, buddy, you were,
it before or after
The first one was 4:30, so.
that was, on the personal qualities.
Okay, I feel like we should break that list into must-haves and, nice-to-haves. And I think brave, fearless is great, disciple of teaching and learning, and I would probably add character development, because character development is so important. Our must-haves, I think classically taught, multilingual, and military service are nice-to-haves for me. And physical achievement I'm on the fence about. So, should demonstrate. Now, the original blurb from BWP had an introductory paragraph that talked about desirable characteristics. So I wouldn't want somebody to not apply because they don't speak 3 languages, just as I wouldn't want somebody to not apply just because they don't have a doctorate, because somebody could be qualified and not meet every one of those. So how can we, if anybody agrees with me, how can we include these ideas but not make them all must-haves?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, classically taught, these are all value-added kinds of things. I wouldn't say they're disqualifiers if you don't have them, but they're pluses, I think.
Right, so, but
Multilingual, we're addressing our Spanish population here.
I'm not arguing that any of those are not desirable. I just, this is on a list that is headed by should demonstrate, which to me suggests that these are must-have characteristics. And I would definitely go with the brave, fearless part as a must-have.
So when we look at what we have for personal qualities, and I'm looking at the BWP version and our kind of draft version, do we see any of that in what we have? Do we see brave and fearless, integrity, leadership, ethical leadership? We've got sound judgment, thoughtful decision, committed to Moore County, relationships, strong teams, foster trust, inspire others around shared vision. We've got approachable, team builder, knows how to build consensus, is invested in Moore County, visible, greater community, work with stakeholders, tireless advocate. Do we see any of those terms, or do we want to add some of those terms into those spaces?
I want to add it all. I think there's some very important things said in the BWP version that that I very strongly want our profile to include that are not included in the version that's in front of us here.
So if we had to agree on, the must-haves, I've heard brave and fearless, teaching, learning, character development. I also like leads and develops, his team, subordinates, as if to become his or her replacement, that leadership growth. So lots to talk about.
I guess I'm wondering if this belongs more. I'm thinking out loud, I'm sorry,
No,
I
you're
stopped
fine.
mid-sentence.
Well, let's hold that for a minute. I've got it circled, I've got it in our notes, and I'll say continue. Let's keep going for now as we think about that, if that's okay with everybody. All right, Ms. Bruno, you ready?
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. First of all, I am entirely against this whole process and this whole meeting. I think that looking for a new superintendent is a waste of money. I think it's a waste of time. I think it's a waste of an effort. What we have here in Moore County Schools already is everything that we have been talking about. Every characteristic, every personality trait, everything that we are looking for, we already have here. So paying this organization all the money that we're paying to decide or to go search for somebody that we can trust here in Moore County, I think this is a waste of taxpayers' money. And I'll tell you, Tom McInnes thinks so, the commissioners think so, Neil Jackson thinks so, and a lot of our citizens do too. The presentation that this whoever they are, what are they?
BWP.
BWP gave on March 9th was a total embarrassment. I was embarrassed for them. And we're going to trust an outside agency to tell us who we can hire and who's good for Moore County. I am very sorry, but I do not, I can't participate in this. I think that everything that you're saying is wonderful. I think that what Ken said is terrific. I also think what Amy said is terrific. But I think this whole thing is a waste of money. Superintendent makes almost $250,000. Okay? That now I'm including his pension, I'm including his health insurance, I'm including everything else. We're going to give $250,000 to an outsider to run our school who doesn't understand the people, doesn't understand the geography, doesn't understand anything about the people or the kids in this school. I just can't be a part of this. I think you're wasting everybody's money in Moore County. I don't have anything else to say.
Okay. All right, thank you, ma'am. All right, I did take notes, and I appreciate your comments, Ms. Bruno.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll add what I wanted to add, which is added on the document, and I'm going to look on my notes as well. So we had the two profiles. We had the one that BWP provided based on community outreach input, our input, and our partners that attended some of the meetings, the parents, the community, the survey. There were 576. We had 10 stakeholder meetings, individual board interviews, a community forum involving staff, students, parents, government officials, and community members. I'm reading this now. In addition, 576 individuals completed the community survey, finding a leader for our future. 338 were parents and 227 were staff. In total, more than 180 participants contributed feedback through meetings and written responses. So we did take all of those responses and we made our draft leadership profile, and then we have the draft leadership profile that BWP provided based on that same information. So I'm looking at two different documents here, and I really do prefer the one that Ms. Parker pulled together from the survey results. I do like that one. I like parts of the BWP as well, but I made my comments on the draft from Ms. Parker, and I felt like the stakeholder strengths were right on line. I didn't have any changes there. The key challenges and opportunities, I did like the addition that Mr. Johnson put with facility needs and student growth. I also like what Mr. Benway said to add Moore County Schools as a key and equal player, or organization and the whole of government approach. So we need that understanding there. I really liked what Mr. Johnson said about sustainable funding, because that is, that's what keeps us in business as the district operates with state funding. It's very limited from our state, and yet we still have our strong academic performance. So that was my only comments on that one. Under desired leadership characteristics for visionary instructional leader, I did have a pause with that word visionary, just because I was worried that it would be, difficult for, some of us to even understand what that visionary meant. But I liked what Mr. Benway added, and I thought, I feel great about that as long as they know our vision, Mr. Benway, for Moore County Schools from the Board of Education, and that we're the first and best choice in education with an unwavering commitment to excellence, innovation, and ensuring the development of the leaders of tomorrow. So that I would like to be merged into, and I'm hoping that the candidate will mention that. I did put the collaborative part on develops and implements collaborative strategic plans, because I wanted to make sure that we understand that it does take everyone to participate in developing those plans. So it's not just a top down, it's all of us together. It's our parents, our board, our staff, our faculty. Everyone adds into the development of those plans. Yes, the board is the one that approves it, but I felt like it needs to come from all voices. I did like Mr. Johnson's addition to that last bullet, supports a broad range of academic opportunities, including career pathways, advanced coursework, and innovative programs. We're always on the cutting edge of that. Moore County does a great job of that. That's why we have our Connect Ed, we have our Blend Ed, we have our STEM program. We really push our arts and our OTC and athletics. I agreed with Mr. Johnson's comments that he added to the effective communicator. I did not add any points to that, so I thought that was really strong, as it is. I'm sorry. The collaborative manager, I didn't think I did. Okay, I thought I. Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought I misspoke, because I thought the bold meant that somebody made a comment, but I'm sorry, I was wrong on that. Yeah, sorry, I was wrong on that. We're learning Google. The collaborative manager, I think there were a lot of comments there, and I noticed some comments on managing budgets, facilities planning, and capital improvement projects effectively. That is tremendous for us. We need to continue that. I've already made what I clarified with military families. I thought it should be productive partnerships with county leaders, community organizations, and military organizations or support, like the compact. When that, yes, yeah, that's what I mean. No, you're good. And then work collaboratively with the Board of Education to advance shared goals and maintain, and the word there was strong, but I added collaborative and productive governance relationships. And that is my hope and prayer and dream, that our board will continue to work with others in, a very productive and collaborative, and yes, strong. So we need to pick a better word there, but those were my suggestions. And then the leadership qualities, I think there was one. Okay. Oh, yeah. The ability to build effective teams rather than just strong, but I want those teams. When you say effective, I think that means strong, that they're doing their job, they're working together. So that was all that I had to add. Any feedback from me?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. That's good.
Sorry. I'm going to repeat what I said. I like strong better than effective because it's more evocative. I think you can have your language be precise, and you can use words with lots of syllables, and what you end up with is something that is so bland that it's hard to make sense of.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna argue over it. I think, they're both good. I just had a little comment. So, Ms. Bruno, did you want to give me
Yeah,
some feedback? Okay.
Nobody's mentioning academics.
Yeah, we do need to mention it.
As far as I'm concerned, every single thing on here should be about academics.
Yeah. So, visionary instructional leader, you want to put, we've got academic up there. Maybe we need to make it a little stronger.
I think it should be extremely strong.
Okay. Yeah. All right, strengthen that. I'm writing that down. That was under visionary instructional leader.
Okay, I'd like to suggest some verbiage.
Okay.
Extensive instructional expertise and a thorough understanding of PK-12 curriculum and instruction. Doesn't that sound like it addresses
All right.
Everything.
instruction?
Did you
It
get that?
does.
Ms. Oh,
I like that.
all right.
How about
Okay.
is skilled in using data, research, and other relevant information to evaluate the effectiveness of instructional programs and other district functions?
Okay, but I also want you to say that this is priority. Academics is priority. But I like everything you said, Amy. What section does that need to be in? I don't know.
Instructional leader?
Instructional leader, yeah. Visionary instructional leader.
It says demonstrates deep knowledge of curriculum, instruction, and student achievement, and this is in the, I guess, our version.
Yeah.
Has a proven record of improving academic outcomes and supporting all learners. Develops I'm sorry, that's page 2 of
Yeah.
this one.
We got a lot of copies, but it's okay. It's okay. We're gonna merge. All right. Got you, Dr. Dahl. Yes, yeah,
Okay.
she likes that better. That's right. Okay, that
Okay.
sounds good. Okay. Thank you. We get a little muddy when we're talking, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm okay with this. I think this is wonderful.
Okay.
But I really would like to add something that says our primary interest in you is academics.
Writing that down. Okay, all right. Any feedback from?
Ken?
I know I talked a lot, but it was kind of same thing.
Well, I have, responded to Ms. Bruno before that there are many, many details that are all in service to academics, and they all have to be handled competently or we don't achieve the goal. And so I feel that it's necessary for us to focus on some of these many other details with the awareness, even if we don't mention it in every category, that it is all in service to education.
Okay, but it has to be stated. It can't be inferred, it has to be stated.
Okay, I will try to remember to state connections when I'm speaking, and then we can collectively decide whether it needs to be inserted every time.
Okay.
My only feedback was just questioning if we want to put a priority order for our key challenges and opportunities. I have a specific order that I believe is
Okay.
correct, but I'm sure this is gonna be highly debatable.
Okay, well, go ahead and
Or
share.
are we agreeing that they're all equally important, or do we have
No.
certain things that we want to focus on? Like so just the top three is recruitment or the top four. Recruitment and retention of high-quality staff. This is the order that they're in. Facility needs and student growth. Sustainable funding, and then addressing a wide range of community needs across the county and continued efforts to close achievement gaps. So that's academics. Do we care what order that those four things are in? Do we think there is a priority?
Yeah, I think we need to.
I'm not super strong
No.
about it, but I think we need to acknowledge where our strengths and weaknesses are and rate them in a certain order.
Okay.
And we can come back around to that, or we could maybe hash it out now.
Yeah.
Totally.
I don't understand. Key challenges and is that what you want to reorder?
Yeah, like
Okay.
first, second, third, fourth.
Do we have a?
Well, academics should be number one on there, as far as I'm concerned.
And then Mr. Benway had said, addressing the marginally successful schools. So maybe we could make a new bullet up at the top. That's more specific. We've got the close achievement gaps, which implies, making sure that all schools are successful while we maintain academic excellence. So maybe reword that addressing a wide range of community needs into ensuring academic excellence. And I'm not sure if that word ensuring is the right one, but what do you think, Ms. Davis? Ensuring academic excellence, including, I'm just writing something, making it up on the fly right here. What's our mission statement? Let's grab it from there. I mean, we've got all our goals and our priority. All right. Ensure academic excellence.
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that.
Yeah. For all students. And just keep it really simple.
So you're just
Add
adding,
that.
you're adding that,
Mhm.
and then the solving the chronic failing issues.
I think that is addressed maybe under closing the achievement gaps. No, yes. You want to keep it.
No, I think, what do you think about the solving? That could be under closing,
Including, maybe.
included. What do you think, Ken?
We're trying to give priority to the teaching. Well, I think we're losing the teaching piece. and we're talking
Microphone.
about- Good. I think we're losing the teaching facet of this whole thing. I think we're to be fierce and
Pull that there.
yeah.
Okay. Yep, I see where you're going with that. Let me find that comment. All right,
Fierce
Ms. Davis,
disciples.
are we going the
Fierce
right
disciples.
direction with that? About pushing the academics for our first priority? And then just making a better statement?
Brave and fearless disciple of teaching, learning, character
Yes.
development, and physical achievement. Period.
What do you think, Ms. Davis? I don't want to muddy the waters. It's your turn.
Say it again.
Say again, brave and fearless disciples of teaching, learning, character development, and physical achievement.
Yeah, but is that a challenge or an
Yeah.
opportunity?
Yeah,
It's not.
we got to rethink that.
Why isn't it? Why is it
We
a
gotta
challenge?
save that. That's what
That
our
falls-
challenges are and our opportunities are for our district.
Yeah.
Like overall arching challenges and opportunities for our district. But
So it does belong there.
well, in a way, we want really what you said to be a key characteristic, a personal quality
Mm-hmm.
of the superintendent. So we kind of need to save that for that, personal
Okay.
quality. But our challenge, you did say, was our marginally successful schools.
Yeah.
And Ms. Bruno said we need to make academic excellence our top priority. So we were trying to merge those two together right
Well,
there.
if I would say a priority is the idea first, and I think those 4 items capture that, and we can revisit the next piece down and describe him as being supportive of that sort of, he or she being supportive of that. But I think capturing teaching, learning, character development, and physical achievement captures it all.
And you know,
And that does what Pauline wants to do.
yeah, and we might just say academic excellence for all students is our top priority.
Okay.
I think that's
You know,
perfect.
that's, just
Okay.
keep it
Top
simple,
priority.
okay?
But is it only academic excellence?
Well, when,
We're a school.
yeah, when we
I would
think
say
of-
it's not only academic
but-
excellence. You
but
know,
to
there's
me,
there's a
it's-
lot that goes into the importance of diversity of offerings, including
whole
the
person.
fact that many students cannot be engaged unless you give them, maybe it's theater, maybe it's music, maybe it's sports, and you get them hooked, and that brings them in to academics. So
It's a whole person approach, basically,
Yeah.
what you're looking at.
Could we just use our mission statement as our opportunity?
I think our mission statement needs to appear somewhere with the ad, or at least we would expect somebody applying to be superintendent to do research on the district and look up our mission statement. So
Right.
I don't think that we need to duplicate language from the mission statement in
Okay.
this.
Okay. So as our opportunity, I'm gonna turn it back to Ms. Davis. Pull us together, Ms. Davis.
So
Yeah,
to
we went
answer
off the
your
rails.
question,
Yes, ma'am.
I personally don't mind what the order is here. I think all these things are essentials, and you can put them in any order you like as far as I'm concerned,
Okay.
Okay.
under
would
key
you-
challenges and
How
opportunities.
would you order them, Ms. Davis? I mean, just go ahead and tell us.
Yeah, the debatable issues come. I would say that our facility needs is number one. It's number one. It's just a large task to handle, and whoever is going to be coming on board will have to be able to manage that economically and politically, and be very involved with our community. So that's no small task. Number two, for me, would be addressing the wide range of community needs across the county. Number three would be the recruitment and retention of high-quality staff. I don't, and I could be very wrong, so anybody can correct me if they want to, but I don't see that that's a huge challenge for us. I think that we have a lot of long-term employees that truly love working for Moore County Schools. I see that more of an opportunity versus a challenge. And then the number four would be the sustainable funding. And I would be either way with 3 or 4, going back or forth.
Okay. Would you be okay if we added the academic excellence as our top priority?
Oh, yeah, no,
Add
that,
in there
I don't
too?
have those written down, so that would be fine,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. All right. And Ms. Bruno is, that means a lot to her, so.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
If that's okay, we'll put that as our top number one. And that's an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know. Academic excellence and student achievement? No. All right, Dr. Dahl, argue with me a little bit. It's not just academic, it is student. I'm losing my words.
I don't like talking about achievement, because I think the concept of achievement has been done to death with these stupid tests and the measurement metrics and all the stuff we can argue about.
Are you okay with academic excellence is one of our top priorities, is a top priority, is a
I-
top priority maybe?
If we're going to say it's a top priority, let's not water it down with one of.
Just a top priority.
No.
Is a priority.
Is either it is our top priority or it isn't our top priority.
Yeah.
You can't have a top priority.
Okay,
That suggests there are other equal priorities and it's not on top.
okay. What would you suggest?
Sorry if I'm being cranky.
No, you're okay, you're okay, you're right. You're a scientist.
What's driving me today is I care about language, and this is just making me crazy.
Okay.
Would you want it to say the top priority or our? Or does it matter?
Our,
Okay.
you know, there's a subject here, which is
Okay.
we together collectively.
Well, let's leave it there for now, if you're okay with that.
I do agree that it would be nice to broaden that a little, you know, because, you know, there's CTE, there are lots of types of excellence, but I'm not immediately seeing what the words are to say
I
that.
know.
But I think saying one of, you know, using wishy-washy language is
Yeah.
not the answer.
I know. We'll leave it for.
Can we all just, like, think about it for a little?
Yes, yes, I think we need to. Ms. Davis, anything else?
That was
Okay, that was good.
I think.
All right, Dr. Dahl, it's your turn.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
The
you
only
got
other,
one
th-
more?
I did want to
Okay.
stand strongly with what Mr. Benway said to begin. It's not a visionary instructional leader, but a unifying instructional leader.
Or unifying leader, period.
I thought Mr. Benway argued for keeping the word visionary.
I did.
He did.
Oh, okay.
Collaborative manager. Is that what you're thinking? All right, I'm good with
Where
that.
it says desired leadership characteristics, the first one is visionary instructional leader. And I personally marked out visionary and put unifying, but if it was done somewhere else, I'm satisfied with that too.
Oh, yeah. It was under collaborative manager on page 5 on that one.
Okay. Either way,
Yeah. He didn't like collaborative manager, and you wanted to say, I think that's it, and you wanted that one to say unifying. He wanted that one to say unifying. Ms. Davis said that's okay.
as long as it's in there somewhere.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. You are on it. Thank you, Ms. Parker. Okay, Dr. Dahl, it is your turn. I'm ready.
Okay. Can we go up to strengths? District strengths is next screen down from, oops, go back above challenges and opportunities and below, there you are. Okay, what I do not see here is the Moore County Way. And I'm not sure I'm the best person to express the Moore County Way, but what I see is, or Moore County Schools Way, is that it's a culture, it's a district-wide culture that is very supportive. And I don't know whether people who understand Moore County Schools Way better than I do would say that the way in which our schools are a leadership incubator is part of that or is a separate issue. But I think both of those are very distinct strengths about our schools, and I would like them to appear there. When I say leadership incubator, you know, we have so many people. We have so many people in the central office who have come up through our schools. We have so many really effective principals who have come up through our schools. it was called Distributed Leadership in the Superintendent Evaluation. I was discussing it with Dr. Locklear and Ms. Purvis before Dr. Locklear retired. You know, what is the process like when we interview for principals? You know, do we advertise outside? And they said, yes, we do. But, you know, we very commonly find that our internal people are the strongest candidates. That doesn't happen by accident. That's a big deal. And that's something that I feel should be listed as a strength. So whether you want to call it a leadership incubator or distributed leadership or how to express that.
Do you want it to be the number one strength?
Distributed leadership is a tough one to get your head around. Leadership consists of the authority and the responsibility, those two things. You can delegate authority, but you cannot delegate responsibility. So I'm really struggling with distributed leadership.
So maybe not distributed leadership. Okay. But a leadership incubator kind of, I know, we need some, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good capture.
Amy, what you said is right on target. It should be said the Moore County way. That is superb.
But can we create a few word description so somebody from outside Moore County, you know, has an idea what we're talking about with Moore County Way? I mean, I see a supportive, collaborative culture with a lot of, I just think of the, it keeps changing its name, but the week in the fall when everybody gets together and different teachers lead sessions of PD and we all learn from each other. Don't you see that as an example of the Moore County Way? The learning conference. But that's only one example. Just the support and the sense of all being part of something, the sense of team identity that exists within a school, and I think throughout the system, within departments in schools. Supportive, collaborative culture, it's that. Okay. Under challenges and opportunities, under sustainable funding, I might be not supposed to say this, but why are we blaming it all on the state? You know, the state expects, the reason the state pays us less than other districts is they expect rich counties like ours to contribute something. So it's state and local funding, limited state and local. Actually, we have less federal funding than, say,
Yeah.
Montgomery County, some counties. So, but we shouldn't be blaming that all on the state under sustainable funding.
You wanna just say limited funding or just, I don't know, limited? Cause it's the state that enforces the tier system, you know, which.
Right,
in
but
our
the-
local-
But the, you know, the state pays us something like 95th out of 100, and other counties that get that level of funding from the state, the local government steps up and contributes, but our local government is 35th.
Yeah, we're 30
Or
years.
in local funding effort, they're 89th out of 100, which is pretty low.
So maybe we take that, I didn't mean to interrupt, keep going. Maybe we take that line out, you know, as we operate with funding challenges.
No, we don't want to get vague when we can be specific.
Yeah, try.
So we could say limited funding or
Yeah.
limited federal, state, and local funding.
Okay, that just makes it clear. Federal, state, and local funding. Okay. All right, keep. We're getting there.
Okay, I sat down with both of these, and my general view is that the thing that we got from BWP, and this is my reaction to what is written and does not have anything to do with knowing how it was generated, but I think the thing from BWP has more specific language that tells us what we're looking for. And I want to say something about specifics. So I feel that we want the superintendent of our dreams to see this profile and say, that's me. And believe that if they fit our profile, then they are going to love our district. Okay? If we have all this generic stuff, we want our district to be good. We want to have achievement. That is not going to make somebody jump up and say, that's me. Okay, another thing that I would like to say is that, I might repeat this later on, but if we define what we want in terms of top line success without getting into some of the nitty gritty that make it up, okay? I'm wrestling with whether to try an analogy, because usually when I come up with analogies from my past, I lose people. If you just talk about top line success and you don't talk about the ingredients, I don't think you do a very good job of creating a probability that you'll get there. So I am going to go into an analogy.
That's good.
So everybody knows that some dogs have hip dysplasia, right? So a whole bunch of years ago, like back in the 50s or 60s, John Olin of Winchester was one of the drivers of this. They developed this scheme to X-ray dogs and have people look at the X-rays and say whether their hips were good or not, and then only use dogs that had good X-rays for the breeding program. And they X-rayed lots of dogs, and they ruled out lots of dogs from breeding programs, and it made very little difference. I mean, it was a huge amount of effort and a lot of good dogs that were just thrown away. Very little progress. And then somebody else came along with another scheme called PennHip. And the OFA program was just looking at whether the hips were good, whether they looked good on an X-ray. But PennHip actually measured one thing. It put stress on the hip, and it measured the distance between one thing and another thing. And when they bred dogs based on that one thing, they made progress because they were looking at a specific, and they were trying to improve a specific, not just trying to improve a big picture that was made up of many little things that were unspecified. And I feel that analogy applies here. We are not going to get where we want to go by looking at a big picture that is made up of a lot of little things that we leave unspecified. And so I like the specific language in a lot of cases that BWV used, whereas I feel that the language of the new document is more generic and general and top line. So that said, I'm going to go through here, and I have things to say on a lot of these bullet points. So I already pointed out the instructional expertise under visionary, and I think Ms. Bruno agreed with me that the first bullet point, it's displayed right now, has extensive instructional expertise and a thorough understanding of PK-12 curriculum and instruction, is a strong statement. But I like the next one. This is the details. This is not the top line, gets results. This is what the person has to be able to do to get there, is skilled in using data research and other relevant information to evaluate the effectiveness of instructional programs and other district functions. We need somebody who can look at data and information and see what it is telling us about the effectiveness of programs and how our students are doing. Has experience. This goes back to what Ken said when we were putting together the questionnaire. Demonstrated excellence. This is not exactly demonstrated excellence, but has experience is more precise than, well, it has a proven record. It has a proven record of improving academic outcomes. So improving academic outcomes is the top line, and
Masters.
understanding the data, yeah, documented mastery, that was your language.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, has experience with the development and implementation of innovative instructional programs and services. Okay, this is another thing that perhaps we could, when we flesh out the Moore County Way, we could, because I think innovation is part of it. This district has a number of innovative initiatives going, not least of which the Moore Innovative High School. And we really want somebody with both the vision and the ability to implement innovative measures to carry those forward, but not just to keep them going on the creativity of people past, to bring additional vision to grow them and add to them. So I like the language that they have, has experience with the development and implementation of innovative instructional programs and services.
You know, there were a lot of things I have experience with, but I'm not very good at. So I think experience is kind of a wishy-washy thing. I think demonstrated mastery, or something along that line would be more definitive.
I like that.
You know, he's achieved something in that arena.
How do you demonstrate mastery of innovation? Mastery kind of suggests that you are achieving a level that's already been defined.
Not necessarily. You can be a master of a brand new topic.
But experience in innovation, I mean, maybe we could say successful innovation. Innovation means you're trying something new. You know, you're taking a risk, and yet you are working on behalf of a school district, so it has to be a very, very considered and calculated risk. You're trying something new, but you want to do all the homework to see if it pays off, and you really need to be gifted with the judgment that you're not just coming up with some goofy idea that's going to crash and burn and take a lot of district resources and maybe some student futures along with it. So if we put has experience and they come along and then we interview them, we can ask them, what did you do? You know, what was the outcome?
They can name examples.
And then we can listen to them and we can find out how well it worked. But
Then we decide
I
demonstrated mastery.
I mean, if you want to put mastery in, you can, but I would say has experience, and then when we interview them, we can find out how successful it was and how creative they were and how good their judgment was and how well it worked. But I would like, you know, I like that language from BWP. And then the fourth one is okay. It's not necessarily better than what we have, but I like understands the relationship between a strong education system and local economic growth and prosperity. I feel that the document we've been focusing on is largely about what happens within our walls. And I think there's some things in this BWP version that talk more about how we are connected to the community. And I think the superintendent's connection to the community is important, and you know, being able to foster the community's acceptance of us as essential infrastructure is important.
And you know, Dr. Dodd was saying the word understand is not a great word either. And what about cultivates the relationship between a strong? Understands and cultivates, not just understand, you gotta do something. But I don't know. I guess that's more of an action, and they're Did
Well,
they understand it?
later on, I think we're going to have them communicate that.
Okay. Okay, keep going, I'm sorry. Just interrupted.
My writing is terrible on my notes. Give me a minute.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, so some criticisms what's on here. Develops and implements collaborative strategic plans with clear goals, accountability, and measurable progress.
Where are you?
This is what's on the document up there, the third bullet point.
Oh, she's back on this, okay.
So
Oh,
this kind of says they use SMART goals,
mhm.
okay? They probably learned SMART goals as their first year as a teacher in PLC. We all use SMART goals. I don't think we need to put that as a criterion for our superintendent.
Okay.
Collaboration is something they should be doing, and writing SMART goals is something they should be doing.
Right there. That visionary. Mhm.
So the proven record of improving academic outcomes to me is a top line thing that is just not specific enough. And then the develops and implements collaborative strategic plans with clear goals, accountability, and measurable progress sounds a lot like writing SMART goals, which is something they should all be doing. So does not need to be in our criteria in my way of thinking. Okay, so the last point I wrote here, it is pivotal for our superintendent to keep the schools connected to the county. And then again, supports a broad range of academic opportunities. Oh, it's more detailed than it was. Well, I'm not going to split hairs on that. Okay. So we go to communicator next. Okay. So I like BWP's first bullet point, which I will read to you, is a problem solver, a relationship builder, and consensus builder capable of engaging multiple stakeholder groups with differing perspectives. This is so relevant to us, okay? Our leader needs to be a problem solver. Ken knows a lot about leadership. Don't leaders solve problems nonstop, Ken?
That's their primary function.
Yeah.
Okay. Relationship builder, also very important. Everything happens in the context of relationships. Consensus builder, the idea that somebody is taking responsibility for building consensus means more to me than applying the verb collaborative, which we all know that a lot of what we do is collaborative, but it's not a very informative word. Consensus builder, somebody who can go out and find the common ground and build the consensus. That's so important. And the multiple stakeholder groups with differing perspectives. We saw this in the community feedback. People talked about the different communities within our county and the different expectations and the different needs that they had. So I feel that this is very relevant and important to Moore County.
Yep.
Okay, the next one from BWP, this was something that I emphasized in my interview with them, and Kevin Kastner said that he'd heard that from others, and I don't see that in the document we're looking at. Is politically astute and can operate within complex political environments. We have a very challenging political environment here. We need to do better at politics. We have been working, on our relationship with the county commissioners, at least since I joined the board. and probably before that, and we are not where we need to be. So, that is a work in progress, and we need somebody who's good at that. Let's see, where else are we?
Can I ask a loaded question?
Absolutely.
What is the definition of being good at that particular thing? What is it that we're looking for? And you can think about it, because
Well,
That's a tough question.
it is a tough
to some extent, if I could define it, I'd probably be better at it than I am personally. But, somebody who can establish trust, I think, approach negotiating partners in a way that says, we want to achieve consensus. We're not trying to take advantage. We're not trying to make anybody look bad. We want to find a mutually beneficial outcome. Somebody who can convey that, somebody who can read other people, somebody who's a lot wiser with their words than I am. Kind of read the room, figure out what's going on, read the personalities to some extent, and yet be authentic about it. The word authentic shows up later on, and I feel like that is a very important quality. Does that help? It's an incomplete explanation, but I think that's some of it. We know what the problem is, and we know there are people who have skills in the area, even if I can't define them. Let's see. So I feel that openness to varied viewpoints does not cover what the BWP's first bullet point does about engaging multiple stakeholder groups with differing perspectives. Okay? The person does not just need to listen. The stakeholder groups all want something. They all have needs and wants that need to be addressed in some way. And so this is not just somebody who listens and doesn't judge. This is somebody who has some chops to try to negotiate with all of the sometimes conflicting desires and needs of diverse groups, because we have those diverse groups and we need to serve them.
Situationally adept. I mean, does that begin to capture, if you're trying to for a phrase?
I would say that is a part of some of these bigger things. Do you think that it needs to be said specifically? I know a few minutes ago I was arguing for specifics.
You helped explain it though, Jim. Yeah, you helped explain it.
Situationally adept means the ability to read the room, to know your own position, and to somehow come to a successful solving of the problem.
I think that's super important.
I'm not sure it captures the whole essence of it, but
I would say that's part of being politically astute.
So you're on effective communicator, right, Amy?
I'm on effective communicator.
Okay.
And I'm trying not to waste your time, but looking at my notes, which are written in very bad handwriting, and the document in front of me and the BWP document.
I know, it's a lot.
Give me a
Yeah,
second.
you're doing fine.
Okay, so build trust through transparency, consistency, and responsiveness. I think that got edited since I did this.
And then BWP says utilizes a well-defined and transparent decision-making process.
Do we really need that?
which one that?
Yeah, well-defined and transparent. I mean, if the word transparent, everybody uses that anymore, and it means absolutely nothing.
Well, I feel that transparency is a word that gets thrown around a lot.
It does.
And, but a transparent decision-making process, transparent as an adjective that describes a process, is more legitimate to me. So I like that better than I like transparency, comma, and some other nouns. Utilizes a well-defined and transparent decision-making process. It doesn't name that trust follows from that, but it is a good practice to foster trust, to have a well-defined, people know what to expect, people don't have to guess, it's transparent, it's out there. So I really like the language in the BWP document. And then I like that they can clearly explain to the board and community how data and research support recommendations. Okay, I am a scientist and a teacher and somebody who really struggles with a lack of scientific literacy of the general public. And how can I explain scientific issues? I have such a vocabulary of scientific concepts that are part of the way I think about things, and I want to explain a scientific issue to somebody who does not have that vocabulary. It's really hard. And the superintendent is similarly working with very specialized information. All the data, all the other stuff. You know, consider this ongoing discussion we have about whether our schools that get D's and F's are really failing schools, or whether, you know, as I contend, that the problem is the measurement metric. It's hard to explain a lot of detailed stuff that if you went through it in detail, it's going to make people's heads spin. You know, you've got to distill it down. You've got to have the credibility for people to accept when you summarize that you are summarizing honestly, and you've got to make it clear, because we do want to build community support for things that we're doing. And the superintendent, if the superintendent wants the board's approval of something, they've got to explain it in a way that the board understands. So again, I think that what they have written there is a useful ability that we want our superintendent to have. So I really like the specificity of a well-defined process as opposed to transparency, consistency, and responsiveness. Okay, so we go on to collaborative manager. All right, let's see, what am I looking at here? So number one, so I like the has direct experience. And even though the word collaborating appears here, I think this is a stronger statement than some we've heard. Collaborating with community stakeholders on comprehensive long-range strategic planning. And that would include the commissioners. But the first bullet point here really puts me in mind of Ken's verbiage on demonstrated mastery. Has solid practical knowledge of the operational aspects of a school district, including financial planning and accounting, human resources, construction and facility management, transportation, safety and security, technology, and food services. That's very specific. And it says they've got the experience, they've done it. And what we have, key expectations include the ability to, well, what is the ability to? You know, somebody could have read a book on it and think that maybe they can apply for this job. We want somebody who's done it. Experience with bond referenda and capital projects. Don't we need that in there?
Yes.
We need to build some schools.
Absolutely.
It's in here. It's not in there.
I made that request to BWP. That was one of the things that I said.
Right. Well, you made it to them, and it's in here. But we need to make sure that it ends up in there.
Well, I mean, we're still looking at both these documents, so.
Right. Well,
You're doing a good
I'm
job
arguing
convincing me. You're-
arguing for some of the things that are in here
You're
that
doing
I
a good
think
job.
are really important to our profile.
Yeah, you're doing a great job.
Okay, so compare, key expectations include the ability to recruit, retain, and develop high-quality personnel and future leaders, versus has effective strategies for attracting and retaining a strong and committed staff in a highly competitive work environment. I would make it a highly demanding work environment, but I feel it's a stronger statement. We want the staff not just to be high quality, which is a generic term. We want them to be strong performance. Strong is a more evocative word. And committed. Committed is desirable. The Moore County way, collaborative culture, teamwork, commitment to our kids and their futures. And then this last one, a proven ability to manage tight budgets and maximize resource impact. We cannot fail to include this. We have the tightest of tight budgets. We have a history. I read the comments on our proposed budget. There was a lot of disparagement, but you notice there are an awful lot of people who think that whatever their thing is not getting enough money. That's because nobody's getting enough money. The teachers aren't getting enough money. No program is getting enough money. And yet, we have these really impressive outcomes. That takes really masterful work with the budget. You know, to keep those people, they're all complaining. And I taught in Moore County schools, and I felt like I was teaching on a shoestring, and I shouldn't have to work with so few resources. And I'm sure a lot of people in Moore County schools feel that way. But it's working. But we have no latitude. We have no room for slop when it comes to the budget. We need somebody who can budget. Yes, Ken?
To expand on that and reinforce that, I would add, has a proven ability to allocate resources, manage tight budgets, and maximize resource impact. Allocate resources.
That's good.
Resourcing is a function of the planning process. Budgeting is one of the tools, subset. So if he properly allocates resources, then you have what you need in the classroom, Amy, right off the bat. And now he tracks it with management of the budget.
Well, I'm not saying that the shortage in my classroom was a matter of bad budgeting. I'm saying it was a shortage of resources all around.
Well, there's a prioritization of resourcing that has to be achieved. They just didn't put you in the right priority, that's all. But I'm saying,
They didn't put any, I mean, the thing is, my point is, I feel like throughout Moore County schools, and if you read the feedback on the budget, you see a lot of that. Throughout Moore County schools are people who feel they don't have enough money to do their jobs.
see, resourcing synchronizes those resources with dollars. We don't have a synchronization between resources and dollars right now, believe it or not. You can.
What are resources if they're not dollars?
There's many resources, personnel, time, material, that sort of thing. It's a combination of things that permit you to do your job. And there's a dollar figure that can be attached to that and managed over time. We don't do that, or the system doesn't do that right now. But I'm just saying, you're adding in the resourcing function that drives the budget and that drives the maximizing of that budget. I'm just saying adding in.
I
that-
wish I
we'll frame it.
understood you better.
Frame it
You know, for somebody who's good with numbers, I'm not good with budgets. And I feel like you just said something really important, and I just wish I understood it better.
And you know, we also have parameters tied to the
Certainly,
budget,
have-
like
there are
this money has
constraints.
to be spent on this, you know,
But I'm saying,
account, this
what I
one.
guess I'm trying to say
Yeah.
is give resourcing a visibility here, so that it gives visibility to the function of allocating various resources, which each have a dollar cost figure to them, to more properly manage the budget and track the budget. That's all I'm saying. Just give that visibility. That resourcing function is the first step in budgeting. And just give it visibility, make it a placeholder.
I think it's very good.
Okay, and I see Ms. Parker has already put that in there, so. Back to my notes.
So I think you're on personal qualities now, maybe?
Okay, I was running low on time or endurance or something, but once again, I see some things I really like in okay, so the first bullet point, I really love this. I think this captures, okay, let me read it, is an approachable and authentic team builder who projects confidence and calm. To me, these are qualities that come very close to my understanding of an ideal leader. And I, in fact, just yesterday, I'm going to try to make the story short. Yesterday, I observed a very outstanding incidence of leadership and was reflecting on the fact that very few people could do what this person did, and that it was his authenticity was the key that made it possible. So I think that word authentic is a really good one to have. And I think projecting confidence and calm, you know, lots of stuff goes on, but to have a leader whose demeanor says, you know, we will get through this. We will problem solve. We will find a way, as opposed to somebody who does not project confidence and calm, somebody who projects stress. I understand that a recent superintendent shouted at people, and I specifically said in my interview that I would like to have a superintendent who is able to treat people respectfully at all times, and provide our valued staff the kind of work environment that they deserve, that we want them to have. So I feel that what's on the BWP document is more specific. Knows how to build consensus within the board, community leaders, and the larger community. Okay? This seems desirable. We have a diverse community, we have a diverse board, we have diverse county commissioners, we have diverse populations in the schools. We need a lot of consensus building at all times. We need somebody back to that authenticity, because that's a big part of being trusted. Somebody who can approach people and develop the trust that we are trying to find solutions that work for everybody. And, you know, there might be some people who would agree that our board could do with more consensus. No laughter? Could do with more consensus.
Like, we need to be more, we're working on it. This is a great example of how we're gonna build consensus.
I feel like this has been a very collegial meeting so far, and I really appreciate everyone's patience as I go on and on and on. As I said, I'm passionate about this. I care about language, and I think that having the right kind of specific language, as I said, is going to improve the chance that the superintendent of our dreams says, that's me, I have got to apply to that district. So I feel like sound judgment and thoughtful decision making it's good, but it's vague and it is incorporated in some of these more specific things. Okay, number 3. So compare commitment to the Moore County community and a desire to build long-term relationships. A desire, that's nice. Is invested in Moore County and seeks to be a visible and active part of the greater community. So here is where I think of Tim serving on that, what was it, the land use commission, and I think he was was he a member of the Chamber of Commerce as well?
Yeah.
So, those are the kind of things that our superintendent needs to do. Be a visible and active part of somewhere it said that that the person is visible and approachable, but invested, visible, and active. That suggests getting involved in these community organizations, becoming part of the function and the governance of Moore County, to connect the schools to Moore County. I think that's very desirable. I'm really glad that Dr. Locklear did it, and I want our next superintendent to do it as well. Can work with stakeholders to build upon the district's existing strengths. This is something that I mentioned in my interview as a priority, that the district had strengths. I very much wanted somebody to come in and recognize our strengths, not come in with a vision that was to sweep away what we had and replace it with something new, but to see that we have got some really good things going here, but we're not going to just let them coast. We are going to learn them and understand them deeply and use our vision to make them better. That's what I see a great superintendent doing. So it doesn't have to be these exact words, but I want build on the district's existing strengths in this document at some point. This is another thing that I asked for. I talked about telling our story. You've all heard me talk about how we need to tell our story. We need to tell as effectively as we can. I would like, that is one of the things, in my interview, I talked about the things we do well and the things that I would like us to do better. And telling our story is one of the things that I would like us to do better. And I feel like this captures it. Is a tireless advocate for public schools and can effectively communicate the district's story and critical resource needs to various constituencies and audiences. I feel like this is very specific and spot on. So, and I think these are, I think if we include these statements, they capture some of the things in what the working document has under personal qualities, but they say them with stronger and more vivid and specific language. I think that might be. That's the end of the notes I made. Thank you. I really appreciate how patient and encouraging you have all been as I went through all this.
Well, that was great, Dr. Dahl. Thank you so very much. Do we have any comments to share back with Dr. Dahl?
Yes. Amy, I thought you were absolutely terrific. There's a couple things that I want to state. I really agreed with you on everything. The one thing, the visionary instructional leader, development and implementation of innovative instructional programs and services. Okay, very important. I would love to have somebody who thinks out of the box about education. The more I see about people in education, they just keep carrying on what they learned. And there's very little innovative thinking. Let's do something out of the box. And it takes a real leader with a real spine to try something different and innovating. And I like that. You mentioned goofy new ideas, which absolutely we don't want. Common Core math is a failure. Whole word learning is a failure. We need to go back to basics. Kids need to learn reading, writing, and arithmetic, and science. So I really agreed with everything that you said. I thought you were phenomenal. Good job.
Thank you. I was really just trying to argue for including some of the language
Oh, and
that
I agree.
BWP gave us.
I totally
Because
agree.
I just feel that it is more specific and more vivid than what is in the working document.
Okay, terrific.
Any other comments for Dr. Dahl? Okay, very good, Amy. Dr. Dahl, sorry, I keep slipping.
That's okay.
But I do want to say that, you're convincing me about, keeping BWP. I like the format of the way this looks, but I agree that the language is very clear and detailed in this. And, yeah, I can see it. You did a great job explaining that.
And some of those things I really think are necessary, like the
Yeah.
the demonstrated experience to use scarce resources, however they said
Yeah.
that.
And the politically astute piece, and the trusted, the authentic team builder, allocating resources. So, I agree with you.
Yeah, that's an important one.
Yeah. Ms. Davis, did you have anything?
Resources.
Okay, so I'm going to read Mr. Johnson's comments, and then we're going to take a break, if that's okay. So I'm going to do my best, Ms. Parker. And we're looking at the working document here. And I might have it better right here too. I'm looking. Let me see which way. So right here, I've got under visionary instructional leader. Okay, there's one prior. I'm gonna have to go back. Okay, thank you. So that's in purple. I think
Is he
everybody's got it.
referring to the community feedback?
Oh, okay. Right. Okay. Okay. Okay, yeah. It is good. It's great. And so that, we just want to make a note that this was an added page.
So we could, since he mentions the commissioners and we put that further down, that we wanted somebody who was politically astute, that there are political challenges in this county. And we, both the diversity of the county, which came up a lot of times in the feedback, the community feedback, and, selling the need for facilities to the county as a whole when we have bond referenda, and communicating with the commissioners, are building a better relationship with them. All of those are political needs. It's not a simple political environment.
So that does segue to your point. His next comment was about sustainable funding. I'd say based on the comments, we could word this a little stronger. Increased funding in order to make a meaningful improvements in staff pay across the board, as well as hiring high need areas, for example, EC teachers, bus drivers, and SROs. So that was his comment on the key challenge of sustainable funding. Moving to the desired leadership characteristics on visionary instructional leader. Based on the comments from public, I'd move this one to last prior to personal qualities. Still very important, but data seems to suggest not as important as the other two. I'm also not sure we need the word visionary. Prefer the other term I saw in the doc's forward thinking. So that was his comments.
I love Mr. Johnson, but I disagree with him about both of
Visionary
those.
leader. Okay. And then no comments on effective communicator. Then we got to collaborative manager. He said, change this to unifying leader. Am I right on that? Was that his?
That was Ken.
That was Ken. I started to say, that sounds like Mr. Benway. And maybe he put this one first. He said I'd put this one first. Okay, sorry. I should have had it. No, thank you. I need all the help I can get. Then we've got, on manage budgets, he said, I think this is him. Manage budgets. Okay, that's Ken again. All right. Okay, I don't think he said anything there. Okay. All right, sorry for that. And then desired leadership, did he do anything, Ms. Parker? Okay, personal qualities. Okay, that might have been me, actually. Okay, you gotta read it because I can't see it. Okay. Okay. All right, so everybody.
I think we have both of those things in other categories. Do you think that that will address Steve's concern if we have them elsewhere?
I would say yes. So let's take.
Sorry, Mr. Johnson's
Yeah, that's
concern.
okay. Let's take a 10-minute break. Everybody, we'll be back in 10 minutes. We are ready, Ms. Cheryl, thank you. All right, we are back together, working on our leadership profile, and we are so thankful for Ms. Parker and Ms. Synum for being here today to help us, and while we were talking, Ms. Parker pulled everything together onto this one document, so what our goal is to go through this page by page and really try to capture all of our thoughts and get them into a cohesive and well-written document. So our leadership profile is our very first, paragraph, information, superintendent of schools. So it gives you a brief overview of how we got our information. This was part in red, that is from BWP added. And so do we want to keep both sections? So we had the other
So
section.
the second paragraph in red briefly summarizes that we had a community engagement process. I kind of like the brief version. I don't know that candidates need to know the details about how we did it. But I just wonder if I'm feeling sort of like I'm seduced by the fact that BWP knows how to write, catchy language.
Yeah, I think we could my recommendation is just to take that section out, because that just kind of explains for our community, but it's not really the leadership profile. Needs to have that. What do you think? Anybody disagree?
So what are you saying?
So I'm saying,
Just the beginning?
yeah, just to take that out and leave the BWP. Yes, ma'am.
That third paragraph gives BWP credit, and even though I argued for importing a lot of their verbiage, this document is substantially the work of Ms. Parker and this board.
I can live with taking that out if that's what you're suggesting.
That's what I'm suggesting.
How about you, Ken, and Mr. Van Way and Ms. Bruno, taking out that paragraph? Okay. Are you all right, Ms. Davis? Okay. Yes, ma'am. Okay, this part was our creation of district strengths. Based on
survey data,
Yes, ma'am.
correct.
Can we back up briefly?
And Dr. Dahl suggested adding the Moore County Schools Way and about the leadership development.
Just before we get into that, the end of the red paragraph above does not lead into listing district strength. So the wording of the end of the red paragraph above needs to be changed. The ideal candidate will embody the following attributes, and then we say district strengths.
Okay, I see what you're saying now.
Um,
So we need to fix that. Could we fix that later, or do we need to do it now?
Should we put some brackets around it to suggest we need to come back and deal with it?
Maybe district strengths need to be above that.
Then we need a verb. The following draws instead of drawing. See, there's no verb. This profile draws from the
Why don't
insights.
we just take that out? Just strike it all.
Okay, I won't complain.
Okay. Does everyone like having the district strengths. That was something that we added to the leadership profile. And if so, would you like to add the Moore County Schools way in a sentence as a strength?
I definitely want both the Moore County Schools Way and the leadership incubator aspect of our schools in there. Who can put the Moore County Schools Way into a sentence? Ms. Sinan, can you do that? Is it fair to ask you?
You can work on it while we're talking. Thank you,
Thank you.
please. Thank you.
I agree with that. I think the Moore County Schools Way needs to be included in that.
Okay, so Ms. Sinan's gonna work on that for us so we can move on.
Okay, so do you think the leadership incubator part is part of the MCS Way, or do we need to?
I personally do. I personally think that's really the determining factor of why we're so successful.
Okay, can we leave that looking the way it is? So just in case Ms. Sinan has a different expression of the Moore County Schools Way, we can remember to put the leadership thing in there.
Yes, ma'am. No, you're. Okay, this was also added by us, our, challenges and opportunities. Do we want to keep this?
Can the
in
word
leadership
kid,
profile?
can the word kid finally go away?
Yeah.
In the third bullet?
Do we want to keep this in the leadership profile? That's the question right now, and if so, how do we want to wordsmith this? We don't have to keep it. We can. It's up to us.
Well,
This challenges and opportunities. That is something we designed, Ms. Bruno?
Oh, I like it.
Okay, so you want to keep it.
I do.
Anybody disagree?
I agree. I just wonder if it gives the impression that we're failing to have high quality staff. Or, I mean, it is an ongoing issue, but I don't want to make it look like we are failing at it. You know, we have a lot of great people and they're committed, and we even said that in strengths. And yet, there is cost of living pressure and compensation is not great.
I don't think that gives the impression of that we're failing at it.
We want to continue.
You want to continue what we have. So no, I don't think so, Amy.
Should we say maintain the quality of our staff through attention to recruitment and retention?
That's perfect.
And then I think the word particularly can go.
Or we could just say maintain recruitment and retention.
I think I would like to say maintain quality of staff through recruitment and retention, comma, given cost of living pressures and competitive compensation.
I can live with that.
So if you just delete from the comma all the way to the word given, which is the second word in the next line there. That, I like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Okay.
Student body growth, maybe? Student growth, we expect them to grow. Third bullet, facility needs and student growth. student body growth or
Student
population growth?
Population.
I think it does need to be specified attendance, because when I first read that, I was thinking of academic growth, because we measure growth in that way, and we're not
Yeah.
keeping up with how tall they are.
Attendance is what we want, because we do use it for academic achievement.
Sustainable funding looks good to me.
Okay, the wide range of community needs, can we make that any more specific?
What about facility needs and attendance growth?
A diverse range of community needs?
That
I know the
means-
word diverse gets used a lot, but it's more specific than wide here.
Should, rather than attendance growth, should it be population growth, or, you know? Ms.
Yeah,
Bruno, I hear
that,
is-
that sentence doesn't make any sense
is-
to
It's
me.
a little confusing, attendance
Facility
growth.
needs and, and
You know, it's
population growth.
population increase. Something. Increase population.
How about facility needs due to increased population, or no?
Oh, yeah, that's good. Well, but some of them are due to aging infrastructure. Yeah, well, we got that in there.
Facility
What-
needs,
It goes on to say something about the new or renovated schools, so that covers the population plus the just aging schools.
so how about facility needs including aging infrastructure and the need for new or renovated schools?
Yeah.
And population growth, or to serve a growing population.
I think, Miss Cindy, maybe we could take the increased population growth out, just facility needs, and then break it down, includes aging infrastructure and the need for new or renovated schools due to community growth, or populate, however you want to put it, doesn't matter to me. Are you
We
waiting
could
for us
just
to
leave
say
it out.
something, or are you
We
processing?
could just leave.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. I mean, I don't even care if we have it at all, just as long as facility needs is on there, because like I said, I think it's number one need.
That's good. That makes more sense.
Sort of. It's not 100%,
Go
but I
ahead.
think we do need to keep moving.
Yeah, we definitely.
We could be here till
Definitely
8
do,
o'clock.
yeah. Sustainable funding.
No. Hush.
Addressing a wide range of community needs across the county in areas to close student gaps.
So the wide range of community needs is not a very informative, is this trying to, I think this is trying to express what people said in the questionnaire about the diversity in the county, the very different areas. How about the range of needs across diverse communities in our county? And then wide can go away at the beginning. Put the instead of a. And then I think in our counties can go away. There, how does that look?
You want to replace diverse with varied?
Yeah, I don't like diverse. Varied, that's
Yeah.
better.
And do we want to include,
Can we take out the second across and put within?
Oh, we do have a cross twice. Good catch. I'm happy with that.
Limited,
Yeah.
limited federal.
all right, how are we
state
going to do this next one?
funding.
Solving the chronic failure
I do not believe that the schools are marginally successful. I think they're great schools, and they are doing a very good job with the population that they serve.
But he's, Mr. Benway is trying to capture the concern for our struggling schools due
The
to,
marginal,
yeah.
I mean, we can't deny that they're not,
Mhm.
and it is a challenge.
Right. So how do we put that?
Can we be specific, instead of marginally successful, use the term chronically low performing, which is the specific term, address the needs of our chronically low performing schools.
That's fine with me.
That's specific.
That's what we had before.
Good job.
I would like to shorten the beginning part,
Yeah.
Ms. Parker, to address the needs of. No, for the red, where it says solving the chronic failure school issue problem with. Change that to address the needs of chronically low performing schools.
Yeah, that's better. That sound good, Mr. Benway?
Tightens it up, yep.
Political challenges? Yeah.
No, it's a placeholder. We need to expand it.
Okay.
Navigate a challenging political environment.
I don't know if I'm not sure, but it's up to you guys if you want to leave political challenges in. But I don't like that. And I also don't like limited federal, state, and local funding. Could you put challenging, federal, state, limited?
Can you explain to me what you don't like about that?
With what?
The limited federal, state, and local?
I just don't like it because it sounds like we're complaining all the time when a lot of the other schools, the charter schools, those kind of schools that have a waiting list a mile long are working with much less money than what the public schools have. And I just think that's a very whiny statement.
I hear you, and yet it's a fact of this district that we provide the services we do with, significantly less money than most districts in the state.
Okay.
And so the superintendent is going to have to work within that limitation, and we want them to know that we need somebody who's qualified to work with that limitation.
Okay, if everybody thinks that that's needed there, but I just don't like it. I think that there are too many people out there who think that the public schools get a whole ton of money and are wasting a lot of it.
Maybe it's the comparatively limited. If we took that out, or we, operates with, it's the funding has gone down for many years, but it's gone down for everybody. Our population has increased, even we're not getting, what we would have gotten, 20 years ago compared to the number of students we have. So I see what you're both saying.
It's up to you.
With the current allocation,
Now,
be better.
this is a list of things community members identified, and there were a lot of comments from the community about that. So,
With the current allocation, could we say it like that instead of saying that comparatively limited, could we say, with the current allocation of federal, state, and local funding? You know, currently allotted, rather than, because that implies that's what we get, that's, you know.
We need to be careful about watering things down to the point where it's not saying anything meaningful.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, and I agreed with you before on that, yes. Yes, that's fine. That was just my opinion.
Okay,
If you guys think it should stay, that's fine with me.
okay, I'm good. Do we need to, what do you want to write about political challenges?
Champion whole of government solutions for education.
I like that.
When we
Whole of
first
government.
started the meeting, you said something about, I probably, fair or equal or togetherness or something that unified. No, but there was a different word you used as well. I wrote it down on one of them. Hold on.
Champion unified, no, I'm sorry, champion whole of government solutions for education.
That's good.
Yeah.
But it doesn't tell candidates that we need them to operate in a challenging political environment.
All political environments are challenging. I think the establishment, which we don't have right now, the establishment of a whole of government solution captures and obviates political problems, lessens them anyway.
Because all the government entities are working together.
Okay, I'm going to propose, since you all seem pretty favorable to including that the person has to be politically astute later on, that we do not have to have political challenges in here. And I know that whole of government solutions for education is important to Mr. Benway, but maybe it doesn't belong under issues that community members identified. Maybe it needs to be under either visionary leader or personal qualities.
Are you all right with that, Mr. Benway? Ms. Bruno?
Yeah, because we did say it in the other one, correct? Yeah.
We're hanging our hat on very few,
Yeah.
we're hanging our hat on very few comments by the public here. I think it's, like I said before, I think we have to synthesize those into something a little bit more that captures an idea, captures a concept. That's just my,
Okay.
Wait, don't we
We're
have
not-
something like 600?
I'm sorry?
Didn't we get something like 600 questionnaires?
500 and something.
Yeah,
576.
150 folks showed up, is that right?
No.
No, one person showed up from the community, but we did have 576 people complete the community survey.
Okay, out of,
108,
108,000.
yeah.
Yeah.
Very small portion.
yeah. Now, we're not to reject those, but how much weight does that actually carry in terms of our effort here?
Okay. Moving on.
So where's the championing go? Does that go down the road?
That's in
Vision-
the
the-
leadership.
Leadership.
Can we do a quick scroll to see if we put that in someplace else, or possibly pencil that in the,
Oh.
ahead of us as usual?
Just like you read about.
Do we need to give her a mic so that the public knows what she said?
Or has, okay.
Yay.
One thing I want to share is that our senior executive team principals, we have been working on coming up with a statement of what Moore County Schools Way is.
Oh.
So that is actually work that we've been working on.
Good.
I
Yes, yeah. Thank you. I won't let you. I'm sorry. You can hold it against me.
It's okay. So what I wanted to share was that our senior leadership team and our principals and directors were all working on developing a Moore County Schools Way statement. So what really is the Moore County Schools Way? We've got some draft documents that we're working through right now. We don't have anything finalized, but it's interesting that you guys asked because it's something that we've been working on. But overall, what the Moore County Schools Way really is about is just doing what is right for our children. So however you want to summarize that. We're not ready to share from our senior staff, but overall, it's doing what's best for our children.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay,
Not the
so,
answer you were looking for, but
so that does not say anything specific about the staff culture within the schools, well, the staff and student culture within the schools, which I think is distinguished, and the leadership incubator aspect. So I feel that we need some kind of verbiage. Maybe just say that Moore County Schools features a supportive, collaborative staff and student culture, and isn't a leadership incubator. I don't know. Can we add some words to leadership incubator and effectively develops leaders from within?
Yeah, grow our own.
So
So we have effective leaders from within. Why do we need a new superintendent from outside?
okay, I think that since the thing that I just offered is so different from what Ms. Sinan said, that we should just say that Moore County Schools does this and not say the Moore County Schools Way. Moore County Schools fosters supportive, collaborative staff and student culture, and we can get rid of way is doing what is right for our children. Effectively grow leaders, effectively developing leaders from within, and I would say and, because it's kind of a different idea. Are you guys happy with develops instead of grow? Developing, that's good.
Yeah.
Or no, fosters should parallel develops. Wow, AI agrees with me.
Okay.
Is this okay?
It's fine with me.
I'm happy with this if others are.
Thank you for being quick to point out good ideas, so, and everybody's participating. So I appreciate that. So that, again, was what we developed to go alongside the leadership profile. So now we're at our desired leadership characteristics. This is the meat here of what was the collaborative work from our survey data and from BWP, and then what we also added. So now is the hard part. Let's take a look at all of these and decide what we want to keep, what we want to throw out. Do some of them repeat each other? You know, Dr. Dahl is really specific with, you know, her desire for clear language, and we agreed a lot with that across the board. What is in red, you can see the different type font is the BWP language, and then the other, you know, plain font is our language. Okay. So are we seeing all of those in one spot, Ms. Parker? Okay, good. So let's just take a minute and look at those, and then we'll share our thoughts together. But I need a minute just to review it. Is there anybody that needs more time? Okay. All right, do we have anyone that wants to start with suggesting things? Let's just take out what we don't want and see what's left.
I have a suggestion.
Okay.
My suggestion is to take out the first 4 bullet points, no, that's 5. So from the top down to connections with community, and then move. It's annoying that you have to go on to another thing for a strike through. Then move the 5th one down below the yellow. Okay, so I would like supports a broad range to come after some of the other ones. And then I think we can get rid of the one that's got the double question marks around it.
I think that's good.
What do y'all think of that?
Okay.
The only critique I have is, and I appreciate the thinks outside the box concept and what it stands for, but I don't think it belongs there.
I don't
It's-
either.
It's a little too, it's just not professional. But I like the concept. I like the idea. That's what we want.
Well, it's, innovative instruction.
Yeah, innovative instruction.
I think it's included. You know, if somebody has experience implementing something innovative, then they have ideas that everybody else doesn't have, and they're not goofy ideas, as Ms. Bruno and I were discussing earlier. They are original ideas, but ideas that actually can be realized in a meaningful way. And so that's, the outside the box pieces there, I think.
Okay, what about Ken's?
Yeah, where's,
It's below.
It's below that horizontal line.
What was it?
It was the whole of government solutions for education. Should we tentatively leave it here and proceed and decide if we like it better someplace else?
yeah,
I
I
can't-
like it.
I personally feel like effective communicator, since it is a whole of government that
Oh.
embodies communicating with
Okay.
our county commissioners and other various people.
So you're,
Ken, is
That's
that-
true.
you're suggesting put it in the communication?
Mm-hmm. Do you object to that, Ken? Or does that take away from your
No, I don't think
meaning?
so. That'd be fine.
Okay. It looks beautiful.
Yes,
Cindy.
ma'am. Yes. Hey, that worked. Okay. So again, you can see the plain font was our work, the red font is BWP, and we've got Mr. Benoit's added down there at the bottom. Okay, take a minute to review it. so this is about communication.
So I
do you
would
think?
be, well, I think that the ideas we want to convey in the black are all incorporated in the red. But I'm also wondering if situationally adept could be stuck on the end of the previous one with a semicolon. Is politically astute and can operate within complex political environments, semicolon, situationally adept. Is that faithful to your intention in putting that in there, Mr. Benway?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that fits.
So
Oh,
go in front of situationally adept and then backspace till it's after environments and then replace the period with a semicolon.
I'm gonna rethink that championing the whole of government as being a communications issue.
Okay.
I think it's broader than that, frankly. And what I precede communicate, I forget what's above.
It seems to me that it's a better fit for a visionary educational leader because it's saying something about the perspective on education and education leadership.
How we approach it.
Let's put it back.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I'll buy that.
So I'm boldly proposing that we strike all the black. Or all the
I'd
black
say-
bullet points.
I agree.
The only one that I don't really want to strike is that promote Moore County Schools as a dedicated advocate for public education. You know, is that mixed in with the other ones, politically adept, but,
Well, we put under personal qualities, at least we have it hovering there in red, is a tireless advocate for public schools and can effectively communicate the district's story and critical
Okay,
resource
yeah.
needs.
okay,
But,
maybe a little bit of both, huh?
I'd be happy to keep that in and strike the others, but I think I would move it down.
That's fine. Are y'all okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
How about the superintendent? Strike should.
Is, yeah.
Yeah.
And then promote maybe should be promotes or will promote. What do you think? Will promote, promotes.
Promotes. Okay, very good.
Now viewers are seeing this screen, correct? They're seeing us. Oh, so they're gonna have a hard time making sense of. But those few patient people who watch our meetings are gonna have trouble making sense of it, because they won't. They'll be looking at us and not at the screen. Okay.
Might be.
Not a complaint. I was just checking to try to get the perspective.
Okay, collaborative management.
I have no doubt of that. You've created high expectations.
All right, take a minute to review, and then we'll decide. Okay, is that last one the proven ability, Ms. Parker? That's okay. It was hard to- Okay. Anybody need more time?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Suggestions?
Okay, so bullet point 1 in black is redundant because bullet point 3 in red covers that.
Mhm.
Bullet point, oh wait. We need to talk to Kent about coming up with a keyboard shortcut for strike-through font.
Yeah.
Oh.
So the second one's redundant too, really.
It is.
Yes, because we have the proven ability to allocate resources, et cetera.
Yeah, that's the only one.
Okay.
There's has direct experience, but we want the partnerships.
So we're gonna have to change the wording to make it all consistent. But I think the work collaboratively with Board of Education to advance shared goals it's too many words for what it says.
Have we got it there anyway? Because,
We have consensus builder elsewhere, and we have effective communication with the Board of Education. So I think we can lose this one.
get rid of that one.
Yes.
Mhm. What are we gonna do with that one?
I would say move it down and affix the language to make it consistent.
Okay, could we change the word families to organizations or military?
I thought we said before military family organizations. Was that what we
Or,
agreed
I don't
on?
know if Mr. Benway, help us out here. That last one, and military families, how do we say military organizations, or is there a better
The
term?
military community.
Okay,
And the military community.
okay,
I think that's great. Yeah, that says it.
yeah,
Perfect.
yay, thank you.
And then I think it needs to be builds.
Oh, Bills, okay. All right, everybody good with this one? We good with this? Okay.
So I think has direct experience, blah, 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 at the top is supposed to be a bullet point. And should we keep or get rid of a leader who can effectively manage complex systems while fostering teamwork? I personally think that's a little vague.
I do too.
Yeah, just get rid of it. Well, do we have?
Didn't we get rid of some of the lead-ins on the other ones?
Uh-oh. All right, let's, oh. Okay.
The superintendent, okay. So we could just say the superintendent are the successful candidate, but I think the superintendent.
Cause it's not just the district, well, it is the district, but it's the community, it's the superintendent. Brain's getting tired.
Our next superintendent, or just the superintendent.
So do you wanna just change it to the next superintendent can effectively manage? Or you wanna take? No. You wanna take that all out?
No, it'll be the next superintendent, and then we go down to the red bullet points.
Okay.
And we're getting rid of can effectively, and we're getting rid of key expectations.
We're not, we're just having a very brief. Yes, ma'am.
Our next superintendent?
I like that even better. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Yes, ma'am. We're good.
Are you gonna keep unifying leader? Sir? Are you gonna keep unifying leader on that last one?
Oh. I don't know, go back, please.
I still didn't catch the,
Missed it. Oh. We didn't say, oh yeah, we gotta fix that.
we wanted to, I think we all were happy with replacing collaborative manager with unifying leader,
Okay.
weren't we? Didn't we all agree to that?
That's all.
It's fine.
Unifying.
Are we good? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Benway.
That's a really good change. I like that.
Okay, so scroll back up just, okay, these are, we're at personal qualities now. Okay. Take a minute, take a minute, just take,
Okay.
please. Okay, I think I'm the slowest one. Does anybody else need more time? Okay. All right, so these are personal qualities. Do we like the first sentence? Stakeholders strongly emphasize the importance of character and commitment the superintendent should demonstrate, or we can wordsmith that verb. I really like integrity and ethical leadership in all decisions. I don't see that down in the other highlighted yellow.
Does anybody want to key off of George Washington's leadership traits?
Let's hear them.
Okay, number one has clear vision. Number two is honest. Number three is ambitious, professionally, is courageous, has self-control and discipline, takes responsibility, is determined, has a strong work ethic, uses good judgment, learns from mistakes, is humble, does the research, values presentation, exceeds expectations, has faith.
Now, who composed this list and when?
George Washington.
That was his
Those were
goals
his.
for himself?
Mount Vernon published this, but I adapted it to evaluating political candidates, 1 through 5 on each of those. But anyway, that's a pretty good array of personal characteristics desirable in any organization. I
It's a
can
good
send
way
it
to live.
Pardon?
It's a good way to live.
For what it's worth, if you want to use it, I can send a copy. If you want to incorporate it.
I would
I
like
like
to, I don't know if I want to put
determination.
it here, but I would like to have a copy for my personal use.
Yeah, so would I. Send it to everybody.
Determination.
But I really like determination.
So
Is the
I agree with Dr. Colcutt that the integrity and ethical leadership part is not redundant, and we should keep it. No, I'm sorry,
Just move it. She's moving it.
and then it needs a little wordsmithing, but we can get to that. But I think that the next three are redundant.
I agree, just strike those for now. Sound judgment, is that, just make sure that's in there somewhere, sound judgment, but that's decisions,
Well, there are so many other things that
okay,
presume sound judgment.
okay.
I don't know that we need to say that. I still want to break that up
Yeah.
into the must-haves and the nice-to-haves. Well, Mr. Benway put honorable military service as a plus, so he's kind of identified that as a nice to have.
Mhm.
Could we say, teaching, learning, character development, and we can argue about physical achievement, and then classically taught, multilingual, and honorable military service are desirable? Or
No, we're not. But I think it's a, is considered an asset,
Is an asset.
are considered assets. Or our asset, or our assets.
so, no, I would make it two sentences.
Mhm.
So depending where we put physical achievement, there would be a period and then a capital letter.
Yeah, I think physical achievement, classically taught, and the rest are assets. But, I mean, are we breaking any kind of, you know what I mean, is, we
So I
gotta make sure we're being,
remove and put a period
Yeah.
after character development.
yeah, right, yeah. I
And
know.
then, if we're gonna change up above to say the superintendent or the successful candidate or whatever, then we would put is a in front of brave. Yes, I would just change should demonstrate to is. Yes, because, or the superintendent, sorry, just the superintendent. So I was thinking that physical achievement, et cetera, would not be a bullet point, but would just follow character development on the same line.
You know, we've got a chronic, epidemic of childhood obesity, yet we have a PE program. I think that rounds out the whole person. An athlete for. To some extent they can. I mean, to whatever extent is possible. I think it rounds out the whole person development process.
Before we publish it. You know what I mean? Just to make sure. I just want to make sure, Ms. Benway. I know I'm a little,
Okay,
I might not be as nervous, but that one just makes me pause for a minute. Just to make sure.
Could we
And I
add,
may be- and I will admit if I'm wrong, so.
okay.
could we add determined?
Likewise.
Determined, okay. All right, where's that? Help us, where you want to put it, Ms. Brown?
I just want to put determined.
How about brave, comma, fearless, comma, and determined?
Okay.
Yeah, that fits.
So I still think since the physical achievement classically taught are nice to haves, that they should not have their own bullet point. They should follow character development in the same line. Just backspace so that it doesn't have a bullet point. And then space, perfect.
So it's in the same group.
Right. Now, I think is an approachable and authentic team builder who projects confidence and calm is really important. So I would like that to be at least second, if not first.
I'm fine with that. That's the way it was in the original document, wasn't it? Personal qualities? Yeah, yes.
That's how BWP had it.
Mhm.
I think the second one is brave, fearless, and determined disciple of teaching.
I think there needs to be an A in front of brave.
Okay.
A brave, fearless. Oh, is
Teaching.
brave, fearless, and A determined. Well, that's okay. The A could go in either place. What do you like?
Oh, I don't care.
Is A brave?
It was just, something was missing there.
I
Is
like,
A brave?
is A brave, I like that better too, please. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. there it is.
Leads and develops subordinates as if to become her replacement. Can you think of a replacement? Team members?
Well, I think he mentors his subordinates, those reporting to him. I mean, subordinates are subordinates,
Yeah, it's a word.
no
it
matter
just-
where you are.
Yeah.
It's just that, a lot of people in education don't think in terms of a military-like hierarchy, even though it is a hierarchy.
I'm thinking of business hierarchy. You have subordinates.
But it is true that everybody in the district are the subordinates of the superintendent. What do you think, Dr. Calcutt? Do you think that that's a word that's going to make educators uncomfortable?
A little
Good.
bit, but I
Good.
can't think of a better word. I mean, yes, but I don't think I can think of a better word. You would say others, leads and develops others. I know.
Well, you could-
Mr. Manway.
You could change it completely and say develops leadership, within the organization or something like that.
I'm not so strongly opposed to it that it can stay.
But it's kind of the Moore County Schools way. It's already in there. But we're talking solely about the superintendent, so.
It is true, we do have the concept elsewhere as Moore County Schools Way, so do we need to have it in two places, or would it be more effective to have fewer bullet points here and have that under the Moore County Schools? Well, we didn't call it the
I
Moore
was gonna
County
s-
Schools Way, but have
Did we
that.
break down that the Moore County Schools Way means exactly that?
We did, we put some words to Leadership Incubator up above.
Since it's such an important part of who we are, I don't see any harm in it being repeated in two different places.
Yeah. Just leave it. It's okay. I feel good about the rest of it.
Okay, we need to wordsmith integrity a little bit, add a verb, and decide if we want to keep it at the bottom or if we want to move it up. Because, integrity and ethical leadership is not an afterthought.
Yeah. Let's move it up to underneath, like the second bullet. How you feel about that?
Okay, let's wordsmith it. Needs a verb.
Demonstrates.
Demonstrates it is.
I think demonstrates wins.
Okay. Yay. Good job.
Demonstrates.
Demonstrates integrity. No, you don't like that, Ms.
You don't
Bruno?
like it?
What do you want?
You want exercises,
Dr. Dahl said exercises.
I don't know. Exercises, demonstrates.
Uses.
Profoundly. I don't know. Demonstrate. I like both of them, but I don't like demonstrate so much.
Practices?
Practices.
That's a good second choice. Do you like exercises better?
I like exercise.
Okay,
What do you
just
like?
Make it exercise.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
like
Dr. Dahl,
exercise.
You get the gold star today, Dr. Dahl. Okay. So what about that final bullet? Because that one, is that one clear? Maybe it's just the.
That's
highlighting
important. It's important, and I'm happy with that in the last place.
Okay,
I think the
I was just seeing it.
integrity and ethical leadership needs to be higher up, but
Okay,
tireless advocate for public schools, it just seems like a wrapping up kind of thing.
okay.
Am I making sense?
Yes, I think-
I just couldn't see it. 'cause of the
I think
highlight.
it's perfect.
Okay. Good deal. Good deal, yeah. All right, are we finished yet, Ms. Parker?
Yay.
Yay. Yes, we do. Ms. Parker has it for us. So at this point, yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Parker will clean this up and get it into a document. I do want, Mr. Schwartz to look at it, just with that one sentence. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, but at this point, that's kind of where we are. No, ma'am. No, I feel like we can take a vote on it today. Do y'all agree? Do you agree?
Yep.
Okay.
So does our vote specify what happens if Mr. Schwartz suggests a change? I think it's the physical achievement
Yeah.
is the only thing. So can we take a vote that includes a course of action of what to do if he says that's problematic? Like if he says it's problematic, we will simply strike those two words in the comma.
Problematic or illegal?
Illegal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, yeah. The words physical achievement. If it is illegal. There's no, right.
Ken, would you object to, physical discipline instead of physical achievement?
Two different things.
Okay,
I want them physically fit. I
I
want them
know.
healthy.
I know.
I'm not sure
If discipline
rises to the,
okay,
that's just my view.
okay.
Okay, with this document, as Ms. Parker has captured our edits, do you all feel comfortable with voting to approve this leadership profile? With the caveat that if Mr. Schwartz says we're not allowed to have physical achievement, that's subtracted, it'll still be approved. Are you okay with that?
With an explanation why.
With an explanation why, yes, sir. Okay.
Sorry, the explanation will be to us from Mr. Schwartz? Okay.
So do we have a motion?
So moved.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second. Oh,
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Benway, we have a second by Ms. Bruno and Dr. Dahl. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. We've got it. I thank you so very much
Phew.
for your diligence. We put a lot of time into this, a lot of effort. Our community has put a lot of effort into this work. Thank you so much for your time and your attention today. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Can I make a board remark?
Oh, yes, ma'am, please do.
I have really appreciated the collaboration and respect and consensus that we have all showed. I have really enjoyed working with all of you today. I can't imagine very many members of the public are still watching, especially given that they can't see the document and we've been going on for a long time, but I wish they could have seen this. So thank you all, and I also want to, if anybody's still watching, acknowledge the members of the public who provided input at the engagement sessions. It has been very valuable and provided a lot of insights. So I greatly appreciate those folks who contributed.
I'm so sorry. Would anyone else like to make a comment? Anybody else? Mr. Benway? do you
No,
want
I think this has been a great session,
to- Okay.
productive, I think.
Thank you very much again. So indebted. Thank you, Ms. Parker. Thank you to our
Yeah,
staff for
thanks,
being here
Cindy.
today. Thank you, thank you.
She might have one. Okay,
Okay,
Yes, thank you, Ms. Parker.
are we ready to adjourn?
so moved.
Oh, question real quick?
Wait.
Yes. Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Just a quick